to understand the Iran war and its impact on everybody, first we will have to understand the horoscope of Iran, that is the Islamic regime which took over on 2nd January of 1979. So when we look at the horoscope of Islamic regime of Iran, we see that Capricorn is the ascendant, and the ascendant Lord Saturn is sitting in the eighth house of transformation and death, and that is to with Rahu. And one more thing we will have to underline or take a closer look, that Saturn over here is retrograde and in conjunction with Rahu. Okay, so what does that mean? Saturn as a Lagna Lord makes one stubborn, makes one fixated with a person with a very fixed ideas, a person who like to govern with a very strict iron hand. That is what Iran's impression has been since 1979. It is placed in 8th house in Leo sign. So Leo sign makes Saturn little uncomfortable. Okay. Second thing is that Saturn in 8th house or a Lagna Lord in 8th house, that means there will be transformation. There will be transformation. It will not end as it started. Especially during the Lagna Lord's Mahadasha, the native or the Iran or the regime will go through a massive change. Okay, so 2014, somewhere around 2014, the Saturn Mahadasha started, and Saturn is retrograde as well as placed in 8th house of reincarnation or rejuvenation or restructuring. In Hinduism, death is not the end of life, it's not finality. So, astrology is a subject invented or studied by Hindus. So, when they say that 8th house is the house of death, they are not meaning finality. They are saying transformation. One Atma or one body, one person transforms into some other person, some other body, or some other life. Reincarnation. So, Saturn Dasha for this person with the Capricorn ascendant and eighth, the Saturn placed in eighth house is definitely going to transform this regime. Okay, that is something given. It will happen to an individual, it will happen to a land, it will happen to a country, it will happen to a regime. If the eighth lord or eighth house gets activated, you will go through a transformation. Second thing to note is Saturn and Rahu conjunction, and that too Saturn retrograde in any house. Let it be 8, let it be first, let it be fifth, let it be any house. That makes a person double stubborn. They keep doing, repeating the same thing again and again. They will not be convinced by any other logic or any other understanding. You cannot argue with them because that will not change them. They will be fixated to certain idea and they will just keep on doing the same thing again and again. Especially during the Saturn's Mahadasha, they will be so convinced about their ideas or their beliefs that they will be hell bent on explaining and dominating others and making them understand that this is how the life should be lived or this is how the things to be done. This Saturn Rahu combination, especially retrograde Saturn, if it is in a worker's horoscope, it works very well for her. For example, if somebody is working in a Ford's factory, he is part of the manufacturing division, where his job is to fix headlights of a car. Every day morning goes to the job and he is fixing the lights to the car. After 3 months, he will be such an expert in the fixing lights that he might take just 2 3 minutes to fix the lights for the any car. And after 10 years, he will be the master of that. Even if you promote him, he will be master of that, and he would love to do that, and he will be expert in that. So if anybody who is in that kind of jobs, where if somebody is a McDonald's and he is whole day he is going to be preparing burgers or frying it tikki or frying something over there, so he will become an expert after 3 days. So this Saturn Rahu combination works perfectly well and beautifully well in the horoscope of people who are doing repetitive jobs. But it is very bad if you are in a creative field or in a field where every day you get a new task. They behave in a similar manner in that. They try to do any kind of task in the same manner, and that is why they create enemies, or that is why they create disputes. Like if somebody with Saturn retrograde with Rahu is in movie industry, every movie is different, every day shoot is different, every location is different. If that kind of person is living in a working in a news media, news channel, so every day is different. Every day there is a different kind of news, different kind of channel, different kind of locations you are covering. So if you try to repeat a pattern again and again, it will become boring. Second thing, the person himself will get bored because he is not used to doing different things every day. He wants to do the same thing every day. And the others around him, being a news media or a film industry media, they want everyday new challenge and they thrive in that. But the Saturn Rahu person or Saturn retrograde person will not. So Iran regime, being what it is and strict and following one principle and believing in that fully, is clearly seen through this chart. There was some dispute about the time of 9:30 a.m., but I go with this because I believe that this is the chart which works perfectly well with the regime. Now, the second most important combination which we can see over here is the Jupiter exalted in the seventh house. Seventh house Jupiter exalted will be aspecting ascendant. That will give it a glory. No other country on the planet other than China, Russia is as famous or as hated or loved as Iran. So, Jupiter exalted in the seventh house is doing perfectly well what it is supposed to do. It is destroying the seventh house, that is, it has hardly any collaborators or subordinates, and aspecting ascendant is making him famous. Mahatma Gandhi ji had the seventh house Jupiter. So he was very famous, world famous, but though he was married, there was a very difficult relation between him and his wife. So similarly, anybody collaborating with Iran is not perfectly happy. Third point to note over here is that in Saturn Mahadasha, which started in 2014, right now it is going through Mars Antardasha in Saturn Mahadasha. Mars and Saturn both are enemy planets. Mars and Saturn do not like each other's energy. Saturn likes to move slowly, structured way. Mars and Saturn do not like each other because they have got different properties. Mars is fast moving, aggressive, and a go getter kind of planet. That energy is absolutely opposite to the Saturn's energy, which is slow, structured, disciplined, and likes to move step by step. So whenever if any person or any individual is having Mars and Saturn combination, he will be always conflicted. And wherever that combination is placed, he will be fighting in that department. So what is happening over here? Though Mars is placed in 12th house and Saturn is placed in 8th house, Right now, Saturn Mahadasha is going through Mars Antardasha, so the combination activates. Both the houses get activated. Mars is in Sagittarius sign in 12th house, and the Jupiter, the lord of the Sagittarius, is exalted. So Mars is very powerful. Saturn in 8th house, he is going to transform the body of this regime. So Saturn Mars started on 1st of January 2026. So just before the 2026 started, we saw a lot of protest in Iran. Then there's the Mars Antardasha started. The whole buzz about the war, and that there was a small war in the Moon Antardasha also. Moon is in second house in Saturn's sign. So though it was a small war, but Iran was basically stable. It was not destroyed, or it was not, it didn't suffer that kind of harm. But right now in the Mars Antardasha, we can see the destruction all around. As I'm recording this episode on the 16th of the March 2026, the Mars Antardasha is in full force, and we can see bombings happening every day. And the Mars Antardasha of Saturn Mahadasha will last in till 9th of February 2027. So basically, the Iran will go through a very severe bloodbath or explosions or destruction or aggression or anger till the end of 2026. Yes, the entire year of 2026 there will be trouble, but the trouble will not fade away just because the Mar Antardasha goes away, because the transformation will start after that, and the transformation will go on till 2032, that is till the end of Saturn Mahadasha. Saturn Mahadasha will end on 27th of June 2032. 15th December 2029, when the Saturn Mahadasha Jupiter Dasha starts, we will start seeing the changeover in the behavior of the regime. I don't know who will be the ruler at that time. I don't have Ayatollah Khomeini's or any of the his successors' horoscope. But what I am seeing in this chart, the last Antardasha of any Mahadasha starts to change the dismantle the nature you were having in the that Mahadasha. So the Mars Antardasha is creating a friction, and when the Jupiter Antardasha starts in the 2029 December till 2032, it will dismantle this nature of the regime. So what will happen? There will be foreign influence happening in 2030, 31, 32, and 2034 onwards. That is the second Antardasha of Mercury Mahadasha. We will start to see the changes. So we have got some time before the things settle in Iran. That is what I am seeing through the horoscope of Iran. But whether this will be affecting everybody, for that I need to see the chart of the USA also, because USA is the main protagonist. It started the action. It started the action. So let us see what USA is going through. For a 7076 7 April horoscope of USA, and at that time Philadelphia was capital, so we had taken that horoscope. Right now, USA is going through Mercury Mahadasha. It started in 2018 and it will go on till 2035. So basically, their attitude towards the world is more business-like since 2018 end. That is December 2018. You can say 2019-20. They became more business-like towards the world, and that is when the Trump was ruling. So the USA, from a dominant power, military power, it got converted into business power when the Trump came in his first term. Then the corona stuck, so there was a little pause. But still, the whole dimension or the Mercury or the Mahadasha has kicked in. So even during the corona, they were doing vaccine diplomacy. That is, they were trying to sell their vaccines or their businesses. Mercury Mahadasha will last till 2035. So right now, whatever USA is doing is basically doing business. They think they are enhancing their business interest. They are increasing their business interest. They want to earn some profit out of it. They will. They are not looking to dominate any land. They are not looking to buy any land. They are looking to get more money out of this war. And as soon as they see that they are earning more money, they will stop this war. Mercury Mahadasha is like that for everybody. Mercury Mahadasha, Putin has started just now Mercury Mahadasha. He will be looking for to earn money. He is not for any principles or he is not looking to establish any kingdom. He is looking to earn money. Similarly, US is going through a Mercury Mahadasha, which started in the first term of Trump, but it will go until 2035. So even if Trump goes away after 3 years, till 2035, the US behavior is going to remain same. So right now, US is going through the Moon Antardasha in Mercury Mahadasha. Okay, so Moon Antardasha, Moon is in ascendant, though it is debilited in Scorpio sign, but it is in ascendant. So it is giving lot of ego. Mercury Mahadasha is business, doing business, but the Moon is giving lot of ego. So January 2026, the Moon Antardasha started and it will go on till the 2027. We will see US doing business like thing with lot of ego till June 2027. After that, little behavior will become changed. But over here in the US horoscope, please look at the sign of Pisces. That is the 12 number. In the chart where the 12 number is written, you can see there are three planets: Sun, Mars, and Mercury. That is the danger. Right now, Saturn is going through Pisces. Saturn is going through Pisces. That means Saturn is crossing US's three planets. That is Sun, Mars, and Mercury, which is in fifth house. Fifth house Saturn, not good. And crossing over Sun or Mars and Mercury, Mercury still okay. But Mars and Sun, if Saturn is conjuncting with it is going to wreak an havoc. It is going to be bad for US internally, externally, both ways. And Saturn is going to transit in 2026 and 2027 too in the Pisces. If you see this chart, you will understand the sun of the US chart is placed in Revati Nakshatra. Mars is placed in Revati Nakshatra and Mercury is placed in Purva Bhadrapad Nakshatra. And Saturn is going to transit in these two nakshatra till 2027 end. Some part of 2028 too. It's going to be a bad period. It's going to be a reality check for USA till 2027 end. Reality check domestically as well as whatever they try to create in this time will be judged, checked, punished if something wrong they have done, and totally isolated or cornered, because Saturn has that tendency to corner a person, to isolate a person. This is what I see from the USA. So what we are seeing in Iran's horoscope, they are going through a bad time. But Saturn Mahadasha is a Lagna Lord Mahadasha for Iran. So Lagna Lord normally gives you a transformation of the regime is there, but that's a natural transformation. That is a nature which is changing. Regime change, even if regime change, the inherent grains of the Saturn retrograde will be remain there. So it will remain as fanatic as it was, even if the leadership changes till 2032, to at least till 2030. When the last Antardasha starts, we will start seeing change only after that period. And what I'm seeing in US's horoscope, this year and the next year, that is 2027, are not good periods for USA. Now we have to see, because Trump is the president, and president in USA, president is very powerful. So let's see what the Trump's horoscope says. Oh yeah, as I discussed in the Trump's downfall episode also, he is going through Venus Antardasha in Jupiter Mahadasha. That is again a Mahadasha, Antardasha of Venus, which transforms a person in negative sense or in different direction. So that is going to end on 28th of May 27. Till that point, Trump is going to be very uncomfortable. Till that point, Trump is not going to see successes in 2026 and 2027 till end. He will be going through tough time. He will be going through changes. And as I said, if he survives this time, he didn't get impeached or he didn't get killed or he didn't get shot or he didn't get disabled. Then when the Jupiter reaches the Virgo sign in 2028, then he will have some redemption. Then he will have some comeback kind of movement. But he has to survive 2026 and 27 for that. Right now, 2 years are difficult for US. For Iran, this is transformational time happening. But transformation, in spite of that, they will remain stubborn till 2031, 32, 33. Changes with Iran and US, we will start seeing only after 2032. As far as the Mars Antardasha, what we have spoken about, that for Iran is going to be bad and it will remain bad. So I don't see war ending very soon. Now there is another way I cross check my predictions when we are talking about a country, because country is a piece of land. Iran may be Persia, Persia may be some other country, it may be part of some other land, some other. Every land has been captured, defeated, taken over for some period of time by somebody. There is not a single piece of land on this planet which has not been captured or defeated or taken over by some religion or some tribe or some country for some period of time. This is a regular repetitive process. So to understand that, and as I focus more on the Vimshotri Mahadashas, and which is of 120 years, in the one episode I made where I have spoken about the how to judge a horoscope through Vimshotri Mahadasha and transits, I explained it in detail. So I will not go into those details right now. But we know Vimshotri Mahadasha is of 120 years. So if we subtract 120 years from year 2026, we reach the year 1906. 120 years, why we are subtracting? Because Mahadasha, Vimshotri Mahadasha, total calculation is of 120 years. So the land of Iran, which we see today as land of Iran, what was happening there 120 years back? Because the Mahadasha would be same. That is the Mars Antardasha in Saturn Mahadasha. So what was happening then? What happened in the Moon Antardasha in Saturn Mahadasha 120 years back? And what happened in Mars Antardasha in Saturn Mahadasha 120 years back? And surprise, surprise, what do we see? In 1905, there was a revolution in Iran or the Persia or whatever the land's name was at that time. The revolution began in 1905. It widespread unrest against the absolute rule of Qajar monarchy, corruption, economic hardship. Are we hearing something similar? That is 2025. The increasing foreign influence, merchant, clergy, intellectual, students' guild, others demanded limit on the Shah's power. The same thing happened in 2025. 120 years before, in 1905, something similar was happening against Qajar monarchy in Iran. January 1906 onward, when demonstrators forced Shah to dismiss the unpopular measure and agree to political reforms. August to October 1906 moved towards a constitutional government. So changes start to happen. But changes happened. First constitution content proposed in 1906. The Persian constitution of 1906 emerged. So what is happening right now actually has seeds in the past. 1905, 1906. 17 September 1906, the elections were held. So why we are subtracting 120 years? Because Vimshotri Dasha's lifetime is of 120 years. So 120 years back, you will have the same Mahadasha, same Antardasha. Then second thing, if you look at the Gochar or the transits, the Saturn Jupiter will be on the same degrees 120 years back because there is a fixed movement, fixed path they travel on. So same Rashi, Saturn will be in Pisces 120 years back and the Jupiter will be in Gemini. It will be having a similar pattern. Rahu Ketu will be on opposite direction. That is, Rahu right now is Aquarius, so the Ketu will be in Aquarius 120 years back, and the Rahu will be in Leo. So we will get some similarities, not exact similarities. Results will not be exact same because there are other planets also which move, and other planets look at the can be in different signs, different rashis, and the universe is expanding. So exact force exerted on a land piece will not be same, but relatively it will be similar. Okay, so that is why, because of the Gochar concurrence and the Mahadasha concurrence, I subtract 120 years to see whether the predictions are correlating with the events what happened 120 years back for that land piece. Not the country, not the regime, not anything. For the piece of land, right now we are checking events for. I am checking what happened on that piece of land 120 years back. So, yes, it did happen. But right now, what I said, Iran will not go through a complete mental change or the change in behavior till 2030, 31, 32, 33. That is the time it will start changing its behavior. So when the 1905-1906 revolution happened and the first constitution was written and the election was were done, did things change? No, it didn't. It went on till 1911. Yes, till 1911 there was unrest in Iran. And then the foreign powers like British, French, everybody started interfering in the country. So what I am seeing right now is a parallel of that. I checked it through Trump's Mahadashas, through Iran's horoscope, through USA horoscope, and through 120 year cycle. All four says this trouble is not going over in a jiffy. Mars Antardasha of Saturn Mahadasha will not end till the end of this year. Until 2031-32, till the end of Saturn Mahadasha, the regime and its behavior will change, but some sort of struggle, some sort of aggression, some sort of Islamic resurgence will remain. So we have some time before these things change. Brace it up. In next episode, I will be talking about Netanyahu's horoscope, his horoscope and the Israel's horoscope, and let's see what they are going through. And Netanyahu had a very huge career right from his army days till now. So it will be interesting to study that. See you in the next episode.
Whoa, steady now. I can balance this. Almost got it.